In this video, we will talk about the properties of hormones and their chemical nature. So we are first talking of properties of hormones, and these are the general properties that we are talking of. All hormones are biogenic. Biogenic, that means they are secreted or released by endocrine glands. So biogenic here means secreted by endocrine glands. Most of the hormones, they are released in blood. There are some exceptions like local hormones. So they are released in blood except local hormones. Local hormones like hormones like gastrinol. Gastrin is released in stomach, and there itself it starts its action. They have a low molecular weight and they are required in very small concentration. So required in very small concentration. So very less amount of hormone is capable of showing its effect. These hormones, they have a specific physiological effect. Specific effect. And this effect could be of two categories. It could be an inhibitory effect or it could be excitatory effect. So inhibitory also as well as excitatory. That means it can inhibit a particular process or it can enhance that particular process. Some hormones have quick acting effect or quick action. That means as soon as they are released, their function starts. They are called quick acting hormones. So some are quick acting hormones. One example that we can take here is of adrenaline, and there are some which are slow acting. That means there is a lag period. Once they are released, after that they would reach to that target organ and then their action would start. It would take some time. That period is known as lag period. So they are known as slow acting hormones. So slow acting. One example that we can write here is of, say, estrogen. There are many. When we come to the mechanism of hormone action, we'll take other examples also. These hormones, they get used up in the process. In whichever physiological process they are helping, they get used up. So they get used up, and that is why there is no cumulative effect. That means once a little concentration of hormone is released, as we have said, they are required in very small concentration. They perform their function, and during that function they get used up. So that hormone doesn't accumulate there. So we write, and so no cumulative effect. So these are the properties which are shown by the hormones in general. And we will be taking up the properties or the function of specific hormones. Now when we come to the chemical nature, what exactly is the nature? Chemical nature of hormones. Based on their chemical nature, we classify them into three categories. The first category hormones, they are called amine hormones or amine hormones. Amine hormones. These hormones are derived from an amino acid, tyrosine. Derived from amino acid, tyrosine. And they also have an amino group. Have amino group. Such hormones are known as amine hormones or amine hormones. The example of this is thyroxine, which is released from thyroid gland. adrenaline and noradrenaline. These are the amine hormones, and as we have written that they are derived from an amino acid, tyrosine, and they have to have this amino group. Such hormones are known as amine hormones or amine hormones. This is first category. The second category hormones, they are known as steroid hormones. Steroid hormones. Steroid hormones are derived from cholesterol. Derived from cholesterol, and they have sterol group. Sterol group. Such hormones would be called steroid hormones. The examples that we can take here, the hormones like cortisol, aldosterone, they are released from adrenal cortex. So from adrenal cortex. These hormones, they are steroid hormones. Plus, we can take the example of testosterone, which is released from testis, the endocrine part of testis, and estrogen and progesterone, which are secreted or released from the ovaries. These are all steroid hormones. So there are these two categories. The third category is the protein hormone. So let us talk about the third one. So let us write the third category here, and those are known as proteinous hormones or peptide hormones. Proteinous or peptide hormones. This is the third category. They are made up of 3 to 200 amino acids, and they have, these amino acids are attached with each other with the help of peptide bonds. So they have peptide bonds. These peptide or proteinous hormones are further divided into 3 categories. The first category is known as proteinous hormones, which include few important examples like thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, follicle stimulating hormone that is FSH, and luteinizing hormone that is LH. Out of these two, that is FSH and LH, they are actually glycoproteins. That means there is carbohydrate and protein, both of them together. These hormones are known as proteinous hormones. The second category under proteinous is known as of long peptide hormones. Long peptide hormones are made up of a long chain of amino acids, and this includes, these are the examples. This category includes insulin, glucagon. These are some important examples that we are writing. And the third category, it is long peptide. The second category, the third, is a small or a short peptide hormone. Short peptide hormones. And as the name tells us, in case of long peptide, there was a long chain of amino acids, and here there is a smaller or a shorter chain of amino acids. The examples that we take here are oxytocin, ADH, that is antidiuretic hormone. So chemical nature helps us identify which type of this hormone is, and based on that chemical nature we have 3 major groups: amine groups or amine hormones, steroid hormones, and proteinous hormones. Amine hormones, they are derived from a specific amino acid, that is tyrosine. Steroid hormones are derived from cholesterol, and proteinous hormones, they have a long chain of amino acids with some exceptions where along with the protein, carbohydrates are also attached. That is, they become the glycoproteinaceous hormones. So this is how, on the basis of chemical nature, we classify these hormones. So we have seen the properties of hormones. We have also understood how we classify them into different categories. Now, in the next video, we will be talking about how these hormones work, or the mechanism of hormone